Hello everyone, I am Sahitya. So welcome back to the new episode of interview session. Okay, so in this particular interview session, we have Sumana with us. So she will discuss about MLH Prep and MLH Fellowship, how we can get into MLH Fellowship. Okay, so in this particular session, we will discuss each and everything about MLH Fellowship. Okay, so let's talk about Sumana Basu. She is third year students and she is MLH Prep, and he also selected in MLH Fellowship, and she is postpan student ambassador and also a lead organizer of Hack Odisha. So she is a community enthusiast and also she is a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. So in this particular session, we will focus on MLH Fellowship and MLH Prep. So let's get started.
So, hey Sumana, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good too. So, first question is, tell me about yourself to our audience.
Okay, sure. I am Sumana Vasu, a pre-final year student doing my Bachelors of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering at National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. So I'm a web development enthusiast and I love creating applications that can be accessed by everyone. And community has a place in my heart. So I'm a Postman student leader, Beta Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador, a Hack Club lead, and so on. And I've tried my best to improve technical literacy in my community. Also, I am a hackathon enthusiast. So I love creating new projects using various tech stacks. And right now, I am an MLH fellow in the spring cohort. So yeah, that pretty much sums me up.
Okay, so in this particular session, we'll talking about MLH Fellowship. So, if you can, talk about the criteria of MLH Fellowship, so to our audience.
Okay, so before that, I'll just give a brief introduction about what MLH Fellowship is. So it is an internship alternative, and basically, like during the pandemic, many students in the community lost their internships and jobs. So MLH launched this educational program called MLH Fellowship to help student developers get hands-on experience. So talking about the eligibility as you asked, so there are very like basic eligibility. Most people are actually eligible for it. So one of them is being at least 18 years of age and reside in a country that is not embargoed by the United States. So that you can check a list on Google as well if your country is there or not. And next, there's the eligibility criteria. There's this thing that you have to be able to commit 30 hours at least per week in the program. So if you are not available during that time, please don't apply because it'll be a wastage of your time. You'll feel very hectic. And apart from that, they expect you to know at least one language in which you can code like proficiently. And you should also be able to communicate well in English because there'll be people from all around the world. So
Mhm,
it is very
mhm,
important that you
mhm.
know English. And lastly, I think you should have a good internet connection because again, so that is very important. Yeah, that's all.
ओके आपने बोला कि प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज एक मतलब कोई भी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज चलेगा एंड उसमें डीएसए वगैरह कुछ जरूरत ऐसा कुछ सीन है क्या?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. It can be C++, JavaScript, anything because at the end of the day, mostly programming languages के fundamentals are same only. So if you're comfortable with the
Mhm.
fundamentals, it'll be easier for you to learn further, right?
Okay.
So that is why any
Yes, yes,
language is
definitely.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. So you also doing MLH prep, also MLH fellowship. So if you can differentiate between those two things to our audience.
Right. So I
Mhm.
did the MLH prep program in November 2021. So it was a 3-week program, while the MLH main fellowship is of 12 weeks. So first of all, the duration difference is there. So basically, MLH prep gives an introduction to the fellowship and you get a brief idea of how to collaborate with people, how to work together on GitHub, how to merge requests, pull requests, these things, and also like build small projects for your portfolio as well. So it is you can say like the beginner version of the main fellowship. So if you do the main prep fellowship first, then you'll be able to perform much better in the main fellowship because it really helps. Whatever skills you gain will really help you out there. And in the main fellowship, there are two tracks. Like the 12-week fellowship has two tracks. One is the software track. So in that, you'll be building up projects for your resume. You'll build like a lot of great projects. And the other one is the open source or externship track, where you work with other companies like Facebook, Adobe, GitHub, and so on, and you
Okay.
contribute to their code.
Okay. Okay. Great. सो द मेन प्रॉब्लम इज लोग एप्लीकेशन भरना चाहते हो तो पे बहुत कुछ पैराग्राफ वगैरह लिखना होता है आई गेस. ठीक है, तो इफ यू कैन इलेबोरेट द स्टेप ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन टू आवर ऑडियंस.
ओके, सो आई अग्री, मतलब एप्लीकेशन प्रोसेस थोड़ा लेंदी है यहाँ पे, ठीक है, बट देन अगेन दे गेट सो मेनी एप्लीकेशंस कि उनको भी लाइक दे नीड समथिंग टू सिलेक्ट यू, राइट? सो देर आर 3 major steps in the application. So first round is the application form where you have to give a code sample, that is any project you want to submit that shows like any project that you're confident in, okay? So in that, you have to make sure that you don't submit anyone else's code, okay? Because you will be asked about it in the interview. So you have to make sure it's your code only. And apart from that, you also have to write 3 essays. So they are majorly for to learn like how do you think, what is your motivation, and like why do you want to join the MLH Fellowship. So you have to make sure you write comparatively longer essays, because that shows how much effort you've put into it, and that will increase your chances. And there is like another like in the 3 essay questions, there's this one question which is like common in like almost all programs, which is like anything else you would like to add. So people usually leave out that question, but that is a very important question because that shows like how much interest you've put in, right? So make sure to fill that question as well. So this is the like first step of the application. So once you get selected here, you are called for a 10 to 15 minutes interview. It's like a phone screen. So there's nothing technical in this interview. You're just like, first of all, like the interviewer will check like if you match all the eligibility criteria. They'll check if you have a good internet connection. And after that, they'll just ask some behavioral or HR questions like, why do you want to join MLH? What is your motivation behind coding? Or why do you like coding? These kind of questions will be asked. So it is very easy. This round is like comparatively, I think, the easiest out of all 3 rounds. And the interviewer are also very comfortable and like very supportive. So just be honest with your answers and that works. And after this, like the final round is the technical interview where a lot of people get cut. So here, the entire interview is based on the project sample that you submitted in your application. So that is why I said that you have to be careful about what you're submitting there, because they might ask you to like share your screen and show the project, explain it, or they even might ask you to show the code and explain like particular lines in it. And maybe like suppose you've created an web application with React.js. So they might even ask you like, why did you use React.js and not anything else? What are the benefits of React.js you find? And they might ask you like, if you would have created this project again, what would you do, right? So these kind of questions. And also like from the code also they'll say, okay, just explain line 2 to 4 to me. So that kind of things can also happen. So this is the part where a lot of people get cut. So make sure you know each and every line of your code. And after this, you're an MLH fellow. That's all.
Okay, okay, okay. That's great. Okay, so it's a first step is application, then interview round, 2 and 3 steps, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So the main thing is बहुत सारे लोग प्रिपरेशन करते हैं बहुत सारे लोग एप्लीकेशन करते हैं बट मोस्ट स्टूडेंट का एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हो जाता है. मैंने भी एक टाइम एप्लीकेशन भरा था बट आई डोंट नो व्हाई इज रिजेक्टेड. द थिंग इज अगर एक सेकेंड ईयर की स्टूडेंट को मैं गाइड देना चाहता हूँ कि तुम ऐसे ऐसे प्रिपरेशन लो ताकि तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन होने का एक चांसेस बन जाए तो उसके लिए क्या स्ट्रेटेजी उसको फॉलो करना होगा.
अच्छा, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैंने भी 2 बार पहले अप्लाई किया था एंड आई गॉट रिजेक्टेड. सो इट्स फाइन टू गेट रिजेक्टेड एंड लाइक इट्स कंप्लीटली फाइन. एंड if I talk about like what can make sure your selection, so जैसे मैंने बोला like application form में make sure कि तुम्हारे essays English अच्छी है, there shouldn't be like too many grammatical errors, and तुम अच्छे से दिखाओ कि why you want to be in the MLH fellowship, and include points like how much you think about the community or how much, because MLH is a community, right? So अगर उनको दिखेगा कि अच्छा ऐसे बंदे हैं जो मतलब community के लिए कुछ करना चाहते हैं, then they'll like to have them on board, right? So that also you can show in your application. And of course a code sample, try to not keep it like some sort of project which is like कोई tutorial follow करके बनाया है, because they'll also know, right? Because these tutorials are very famous. So if they see हाँ okay they had copied the code and लिख दिया है तो मतलब उतना अच्छा नहीं दिखेगा, right? And also जैसे अगर तुम कुछ इस टाइप का करो कि DSA का कोई एक दे दिया कि बाइनरी ट्री कैसे बनाते हैं वो डाल दिया, तो इट इज मतलब वो तो हर जगह ही दिया हुआ है, राइट? So try to think of something unique. So इसीलिए ऐसे टाइम्स पे like if you create a hackathon project, that actually really helps. Because in the code sample, उसमें they also ask you in a question like what have you learned from this code sample. So वो भी बहुत important question है, because उन लोगों को लाइक MLH एडमिशन टीम को उतना फ़र्क इस चीज़ से नहीं पड़ता कि तुम्हें कितना ज़्यादा आता है, बट इससे आता है कि तुम कितना सीख रहे हो और कितना यूनिक सीख रहे हो। ठीक है? So this is for the application, and for the interview rounds, I would say do a lot of mock interviews with your friends or anyone, like any senior, or you can even approach me on LinkedIn and like just try and do mock interviews, because उससे first confidence आता है and second you'll know कि तुम कैसा perform करने वाले हो, ठीक है? And अगर तुम्हें समझ आ जाएगा कि अच्छा अगर गंदा हो रहा है then these are the questions I have to prepare, right? So I think yeah, इसको इतना follow कर लोगे so you'll be selected for sure.
ओके ओके सो दैट्स अ ग्रेट मॉक इंटरव्यू प्रैक्टिस करना होता है ताकि मेरा फ्लुएंसी बढ़ जाए कि हाँ मैं इंटरव्यू को कैसे फेस कर रहा हूँ. दैट्स अ प्लस पॉइंट. ओके तो अभी एक नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मेरे तरफ से होगा कि आप कम्युनिटी से बहुत जुड़े हुए हैं, ठीक है, तो कम्युनिटी आपको हेल्प कैसे करता है इन इन वर्क कल्चर इन योर करियर, कैसे अफेक्ट करता है कम्युनिटी आपको?
Okay, so honestly, communities have really changed my life. Like, firstly, 2 साल पहले, like, if you would have met me, I was a very shy person. But now I have like conducted workshops internationally, and it's all because of the communities and the friend circle I have. So, like, I think 2 years back only when COVID hit us, that time only I started looking at these communities. I joined all these communities, and I met so many amazing people who were willing to help without, like, getting anything back from it. So these kind of people and in today's world creating connection is very important. So I think like if you are able to get into communities, you will be able to do that very easily because हर जगह के लोग मिलते हैं, internationally भी लोग मिलते हैं, and you can easily talk to them, and बाद में future में it'll help you a lot. And like कुछ भी, like even if you want to start learning something new. So for example, I am part of the postman community. So I'm a postman student leader there. So I wanted to start contributing in open source to postman, and they have this project called Newman. So I just thought, like, I was very confused looking at the project, like how should I start? So I just reached out to some people in the community, and they provided me with a lot of resources, like step by step resources. And this way you, like, it is much easier for you to learn. You get a lot of guidance very easily. So it has like communities have helped me grow a lot and provided me a lot of opportunities as well. So I think everyone should join communities. It's really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Community is one of the key point to collaborate with people to build some project. That's the main thing of community, I guess. Okay, तो देखो अभी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन यही होगा कि प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रेटेजी भी हो गया, तो मतलब ये सेकंड ईयर का स्टूडेंट या फिर फर्स्ट ईयर का स्टूडेंट भी क्या इसमें अप्लाई कर सकते हैं एमएलएच में?
हाँ, like anyone above the age of 18 can apply.
ईयर. ओके ओके
हाँ,
फाइन.
and it is not
ओके
like कि तुम्हें फर्स्ट ईयर में ही बहुत कुछ आना पड़ेगा तभी हो सकता है। एज़ आई सेड कि मतलब एक भी अगर तुम्हारा प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा है जिसमें तुम्हें कॉन्फिडेंस है, मतलब इट इज़ कि तुम्हें जितना आता है वो तुम्हें अच्छे से आता है। सब कुछ आने की नीड नहीं है, बट जितना आता है वो अच्छे से आता है। सो देन यू विल
ठीक
गेट
ठीक.
सिलेक्टेड। या
ग्रेट ग्रेट. ओके. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज आपको एमएलएच फेलोशिप में आप अभी 2022 का कोहोर्ट में है, तो आपको इधर से क्या क्या लर्निंग मिला था, एमएलएच प्रेप से भी क्या क्या लर्निंग मिला था, एमएलएच फेलोशिप से क्या क्या लर्निंग मिल रहा है, अगर आप ये थोड़ा बता दें तो.
ओके, हाँ, सो एमएलएच प्रेप जो था, सो उसमें लाइक बेसिकली मैं बहुत नए-नए लोगों से मिली। वी हैड people from America, China, and India, a lot of places from India. So, matlab it was a very international pod. So, you met a lot of new people. And जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि like अगर तुम अच्छा राइटर बनना चाहते हो तो बहुत सारी बुक्स पढ़ा करो, राइट? तो वैसे ही अगर तुम अच्छा कोड लिखना चाहते हो तो बहुत सारा कोड देखा करो। एंड दैट इज व्हाट लाइक आई थिंक आई सॉ, बिकॉज हर जगह लोग बहुत अलग टाइप का कोड लिखते हैं। एंड अगर तुम हर जगह से थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ कुछ उठा दो ना, तुम्हारा कोड और एफिशिएंट बनेगा। ठीक है? सो इसीलिए कीप एक्सप्लोरिंग, एंड मतलब वो जो चीज़ होता है ना कि सबसे मिलो, सबसे बात करो। एंड वी हैड दिस वेरी कूल थिंग इन एमएलएच दैट दे मेड श्योर दैट वी इंटरैक्ट देयर। सो उस वजह से हम लोगों को लाइक बाकी कल्चर्स के बारे में, बाकी कोडिंग कल्चर्स इन लाइक यूएस, अफ्रीका, ये सब में बहुत पता चला हमको, ठीक है? सो दैट वाज़ अ वेरी ग्रेट लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस। अलोंग विद दैट वी कोलैबोरेटेड ऑल टुगेदर ऑन वन प्रोजेक्ट in like together we were contributing together, we were sending pull requests, we were creating branches. So उसमें like काफ़ी conflicts वगैरह होते हैं, so we learned how to solve them. So it was a pretty great experience. And talking about the MLH main fellowship, so I am working on like with a company called Synthesis. So here firstly, like my tech stacks were very like, of course my tech stacks are being used, like I am a web developer, so JavaScript is being used, but other than that also there were many new technologies that I had to learn, because like company के बहुत सारे technologies वो लोग use करते हैं, right? So मेरा like tech stack grew a lot, like I had to learn a lot of new things, and they gave us sample tasks झट से सीखने हैं, उन्होंने हमें टाइम दिया आराम से, and that really helped me. Like we had in the first week we also had a orientation hackathon, so usme like we teamed up among ourselves and then we made projects and we had this competition. So that was also really fun because, like for example, my team had two people from Nigeria. So first of all, like I had to understand their accent, I had to work with their time zones, right? So it was a very cool experience for that also. So till now it hasn't been that many weeks, like I think 2 or 3 weeks, but till now it has been great, and I'm like very eager to contribute to the company and help them out.
दैट्स अमेजिंग। एक इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर मिल जाता है, एक कोलैबोरेशन मिल जाता है इसको इसमें आने से पहले, दैट्स द की पॉइंट ऑफ एमएलएच। एंड
Yeah.
यू कैन से इट्स इंटर्नशिप का और एक क्या बोलते हैं, और एक ट्रैक बोल सकते हैं, राइट? अगर किसी को इंटर्नशिप नहीं मिल रहा है तो he or
Right.
she can apply for MLH. This is a great opportunity.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes, and
so
plus
if you
stipend is
can,
also great. We got.
so if you can focus on something related to MLH open source part also, if you can guide something on that.
Okay. So basically, like the MLH main fellowship, as I said, it has two tracks. So right now, like in this cohort, the spring cohort, they have combined open source and externship track. But basically, what MLH open source track was that like Facebook के like Meta के जैसे open source projects है, या GitHub के जैसे open source projects हैं, तो उन पे you go and contribute, ठीक है? Like you'll have a mentor assigned, a maintainer assigned, and with the help of them you're contributing to an actual open source project. So agar like if you are not too much into open source, I would say this would provide a great head start, because तुम्हें गाइड साथ साथ you're contributing, तो अगर तुम नए हो तो तुम्हारे लिए बहुत easy, मतलब आगे open source में जाना will be much easier. अगर like MLH के बिना you try open source, of course it then also it's definitely possible, it's like very encouraged, but this is a easier way out. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, that's great. So now we can end our interview session. And the last question is not the question. Any tips from your side to our audience, if you can?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I would say like try out MLH Prep first, because like you'll actually understand if you're enjoying MLH Fellowship or not. Because like अगर सीधा 12 week वाला कर लिया और वहाँ फंस गए तो दिक्कत हो जाएगा. Because some
Okay.
people might not like it, right? Although I love it right now, but there might be some people who don't like it, or they might not be able to give that much time. So I would say MLH Prep करो, and मतलब एमएलएच भी है, थोड़ा ईज़ियर है उसका सिलेक्शन, ऑल्दो एप्लीकेशन प्रोसेस इज़ सेम, बट सिलेक्शन वाइज़ थोड़ा ईज़ियर है। एंड एक और फ़ायदा एमएलएच प्रेप पहले करने का ये है दैट दे गिव यू अ लॉट ऑफ प्रायोरिटी व्हेन यू आर अ एमएलएच प्रेप फेलो, एंड उसके बाद यू अप्लाई फॉर मेन फेलोशिप। सो जैसे लोगों का जब एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भरते हैं, सो इट टेक्स अराउंड मिनिमम लाइक 5 डेज़ टू गेट बैक एन आंसर कि तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन हुआ है या नहीं एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म राउंड में। बट जैसे मैंने जब आफ्टर एमएलएच प्रेप किया अप्लाई, तो आई गॉट इट ऑन द सेम डे कि नाउ यू हैव डायरेक्टली रीच द टेक्निकल इंटरव्यू राउंड, गिव द टेक्निकल इंटरव्यू एंड यू आर सिलेक्टेड. सो इट बिकम्स मच ईजियर, एंड यू गेट लाइक अगर तुम डायरेक्टली एमएलएच मेन फेलोशिप करोगे तो उसमें ये भी चीज़ है कि यू विल बी कंप्लीटली न्यू टू एवरीथिंग एंड इट माइट बी हार्ड टू कोप अप. सो एमएलएच प्रेप गिव्स यू लाइक छोटा सा पुश टाइप का. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आई वुड से बी ऑनेस्ट इन योर आंसर्स. ज़्यादा मतलब लाइक फेंकने की कोशिश मत करना, ठीक है? Be sure that your essays are properly like grammatically corrected. Like you can go on Grammarly and वहाँ पे like आराम से सारा ठीक हो जाता है, so you don't have to worry about it as well. तो yeah, I think that's all. And interviews के लिए जैसे I said, like mock interviews करो, that's the best thing. And have a good friend circle. I would really suggest that, because friend circle बहुत change करता है चीज़ें. Like मतलब if you have a good friend circle who have like almost like the similar goal and all want to work towards it, तो वो मोटिवेशन आता है, थोड़ा एक हेल्दी कंपटीशन रहता है और एक मोटिवेशन मिलता है. सो आई वुड से हैव अ रियली गुड फ्रेंड सर्कल. ट्राई टू फाइंड पीपल हू थिंक लाइक यू एंड वांट टू डू द सेम थिंग. या दैट्स ऑल.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Sumana, for joining with us. And आपका जो टिप्स है आई होप सबको काम में आए, एंड मेरे को भी बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला इस छोटा सा इंटरव्यू सेशन में, एंड यू नो आई विल ट्राई अगेन टू अप्लाई दिस MLH prep at first in fellowship. Okay, so thanks for joining, and guys, if you want to contact with her, then I will put the link in the description. You can check it out and contact with her. So thank you, Sumana.
Thank you. Thank you.
So hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you have any kind of problem related to open source and programming, you can contact with me. So thank you.